What's up everyone, it's Jambors, new video, and I know I'm not doing it oftenly because nowadays I don't feel there is so much things to talk about, otherwise I would be repeating myself. Israel, this and that, the same topics all over again, nothing really new. And about the logo I was talking about, but this talk will be a little bit connected to it once again. The reason is that I was thinking a lot about why Eurovision is deliberately losing its identity. Why it's revolutionized or rebranding or remaking or rechanging something which has such a long tradition, with such a long progression, and also I would say like a conservative values a little bit. Not in the way what maybe now in politics conservative means, but in the way of how little bit slowly processes are going on towards the contest, adapting a little bit but still keeping what it is, which is a contest. The trend in previous years becoming more TikTokish, lowering the quality limits, being much more open to artists who are not really great, giving them instruments to not even necessarily be needed to be great. Be open to completely new things, which is let them complain because everything is against the artists, and this is killing the industry of Eurovision in general. Because if you don't have strong artists involved in it, and I mean strong, it means that there is no other outcome of Eurovision than the Eurovision itself. What Eurovision wants to be. And it's becoming something trendy. But trendy in the way that the trend of yesterday no one cares about. This is how I feel Eurovision now. That it's doing things non-valuable for a brand itself. Like it's something new now. Like it never had the history. But it has the history, 70 years. 70 years, 20 years of logo, you take it, you completely change it to something completely TikTokish. You even openly basically say it, that this is the reason, this is the new audience, this is the thing, even though this is a multi-generational project. It's not like for special audience, a multi-generational project. It's like a football, The football is also evolving slowly to something which is still the same sport, still the same, very similar rules, 11 players. It just got faster, even more competitive than ever, and much more marketing around it. And this is it. The football understands that, of course, the marketing around it, before the match, maybe during the advertisements, all programs or podcast, everything what's going on around it, goes by the trends. Something is obsolete, something just goes forward, something stays, something's gone. But the football stays as it is. It's just getting more and more competitive, better, kind of. Eurovision doesn't do this. Eurovision wants to change itself to a trend when everything around it, becoming what is surrounding football instead of being a football. Because football has its identity. The biggest competitions in football, like domestic leagues, like Champions League, like all those European leagues, World Cups, European Cups, they are still the same. Of course, they are changing the way how many teams is playing in, if it's too much or less, they are adapting some new rules, but in principle, it's exactly the same, even though how they look like, how the branding is. Of course, it's retouched from time to time a little bit, but it's not revolutionarily changed to something new. Why? Because regardless what we think about people in football, they understand what they have, but they also understand in better and better league that it's extremely important all the things which is going on around it. And Eurovision for some reason forgot it. Wants to be the things around, and then of course there is no energy for the main thing. Because the main thing is losing its competitiveness. This is the reason why we have worse and worse songs every year, why those songs basically are not competitive in the global market, not even in European market. Most of them, instead of being oppositely, like more and more and more songs are getting to those charts but it's less and less and less and less, which makes Eurovision less and less interesting for the ones who has ambition, which leads to no ambitions from televisions to be better, and then no one even would care about the visuals anymore because it will be this chart show again. And this is because it doesn't have its clear identity, or the identity exactly will be, this is just a trend for a moment. But such trends has no value. The identity has the value, and I, again, don't understand why Eurovision deliberately, through the representatives, choose to lose it. Those people don't care about the brand. It's still extremely important. And when I hear, for example, Martin Green, which I don't know personally, it's for me like, oh my god, those are marketing stuff talks. But this is not a real thing for a brand which is here with us 70 years. And it's funny that I'm saying it when people around Eurovision was telling me that I'm too revolutionary, when I only wanted to raise the quality by adopting better rules, for example, in the case of who they are choosing in their internal selections, to make it more competitive. That was revolutionary. But changing it to something which has no substance, no value, and it's just a blink of the eye trend. That's what it is. I think it's a way down of the brand, and it will take longer to rise it up, if ever. And I hope I'm totally wrong, as usual. Always negativistic a little bit. But I don't see any positive things because, we are still waiting, and it's kind of closer to Eurovision again, because all the songs which are now released can be Eurovision, and we didn't hear anything about the rules changing. We didn't hear anything about anything. And now, I think the countries should know what will be the next Eurovision, because, for example, they could choose the song now. But what if this song would not fit the rules of Eurovision because of some reason? Why would they put the risk in? They should need it. They should need before 1st of September to know what Eurovision will be like. We should also know it. Everybody should know it, because all those things should be a little bit more public. Because, for example, if you are an artist and there are questions what I should do for becoming an artist at Eurovision, you should know it, and you shouldn't know it just from your own broadcaster, but you should know the general rules of Eurovision 2026 already. And this is extremely wrong. So some processes are slow, and the very important processes like branding and identity of the brand, they are just happening. And Eurovision is becoming TikTok. And TikTok itself has no value as a thing. The content matters. And if you have the content outside of it, a huge brand like this, it makes zero sense to do steps you do. And this is the mistakes televisions are constantly doing, thinking that those trends around it, they need to adapt to itself, to the main product. But it's not true. Stay who you are, why you are there, you have a tradition, have an identity, evolve it. And then adapt all of it around it for the support of this thing, of you as a brand. Not vice versa. Not oppositely. Because then you will lose it. But this is on repetition. So write me what you think. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, watch my other videos, discuss 100%. I'm extremely curious about your thoughts, and see you next time. Thank you for watching.